If you've been watching my videos here on Minus the Gym, you may have seen me using several different types of pull-up bars throughout all my videos. And I know some people have noticed this because I've gotten questions in the comments asking, why do I have so many pull-up bars? Well, the truth is I only have 3 different pull-up bars, but I got each one because it had a different purpose and kind of helped me in a different way on my calisthenics journey. So I wanted to share with you guys all the advantages and disadvantages to all the different types of pull-up bars so you can make the right decision in picking one for yourself. How's it going, everybody? I'm Ryan and this is Minus the Gym, where we learn how to be fit and healthy right at home. And by the way, if at any point during this video you find it helpful, please drop a like because that really helps me out. So in my videos, you've probably seen me use my doorway pull-up bar the most. And that is, I think, the most common type of pull-up bar for home. Now, there's actually 2 different types of doorway pull-up bars that I'm going to talk about, but the first type is the kind that just mounts right on your door frame. It literally just hangs on the door frame, and your body weight pulling down on it, plus the construction, like the engineering of the pull-up bar, is what holds it really tight onto the trim for your door. The main advantages to this type of pull-up bar is that, well, for one, they're cheap. They're only about $20 to $30 on average, so that's pretty affordable for most people. But also, these doorway pull-up bars are easy to install. They usually come in a series of just a few pieces, and you assemble it with an Allen wrench, which is usually included with it. And then it literally just hangs on the trim of your door frame. Now, a good doorway pull-up bar like this will come with anchors. They're like Z-shaped little metal things that you put between the trim and the wall on the back of the door. And this will help hold the pull-up bar in place on top of the trim and really help secure it. So make sure that any doorway pull-up bar in this style that you buy has those anchors so that it's more secure and more reliable. The downside to this kind of doorway pull-up bar is that I don't recommend doing any kind of lever training or any kind of inverted hangs, and you definitely can't do explosives or muscle ups or anything like that, obviously. So if your goal is simply to learn pull-ups, if that's your mission right now, is you're just starting out and you're doing the basics and pull-ups seem kind of far away, like that's going to be a big goal for you, then definitely invest in one of these doorway pull-up bars because it's great for beginners. And if pull-ups are really the only hanging or pulling exercise you see yourself doing on a pull-up bar anytime soon, then it's worth the investment for sure. The second type of doorway pull-up bar is what's called a telescoping mounted doorway pull-up bar. And what's nice about these is you basically, the horizontal bar telescopes out to fit securely in your door frame. And I've heard of some of them being only telescoping where they don't have any mounting brackets. Steer clear of those, okay? The kind of pull-up bars, the telescoping ones that you want to look at, are the kind with mounting brackets. Basically, with these, you install mounting brackets on the inside of your door frame, and those really help in securing this pull-up bar. So you telescope out the pull-up bar and you hang it in the brackets right there in your door frame, and it's a lot more reliable. I personally don't have one of these, but I know people who do, and I've read tons of reviews on Amazon and they seem really great. The disadvantages to the telescoping one is that you have to install mounting brackets, and that's a rather permanent install because you're going to have to drill holes in your door frame most likely. But the advantage is you get more security with it, more reliability. And also, if you really want, you could mount this kind of lower, maybe like chest height, so it's not near the top of your door frame. And that allows you, instead of doing pull-ups, you could use it to work on strict muscle ups, right? Muscle up negatives and things like that, straight bar dips. So it's more versatile because you can, if you really want to, you can change the height in your door frame to work on other exercises. A third type of pull-up bar you may have seen me using in a couple of my past videos is my IBeam Pull Up Bar. And IBeam pull-up bars are really great because the mounting is super secure. It's very sturdy. In fact, I mounted my IBeam pull-up bar about 2 years ago and I haven't had to tighten it since. I do go up there with a ladder and I check on it frequently, maybe like every few months, but I've never had to tighten it. Now, a disadvantage to it is that not everybody has I-beams in their home, right? If you have a finished basement, then the I-beams might not be exposed, or maybe they just weren't used in the construction. I'm lucky that my garage has an exposed I-beam near the ceiling. I love my IBeam Pull Up Bar because it allows me to work out, if I really want to, in the dead of winter. I can get out my garage with a space heater and get in a full body workout with that pull-up bar. There's really nothing else I need. Unless I want to do dips, I bring out my dip station too. But all it really takes is close the garage door and turn on a space heater. Another big advantage to the IBeam Pull Up Bar, besides the sturdiness of it, is the variety of grips. Okay, it's a really wide bar, so I can do wide grip pull-ups, but it also, you can do narrow grip, you can do shoulder width grip, but it also has these neutral grip bars coming off the back of it, and I really like that. And because it's so sturdy, you can also use it for explosive pull-ups. I really like that. I've done, different types of explosives and just really powerful concentrics, like pulling up really fast and hard on my pull-ups. And like I mentioned, I have not needed to tighten it in 2 years. I'd say the main disadvantage to the IBeam pull-up bars are, for one, the price. They are a bit pricey. And two, I-beams are typically up near the ceiling, so you probably can't use them for muscle ups, right? You can't get above the bar if you have a ceiling right above your head. A fourth type of pull-up bar that I personally don't own, but I've used before because a friend of mine had one back in the other house that I lived. He lived like down the street practically, and he had a power tower. This is a freestanding pull-up bar, meaning that it's a pull-up bar that doesn't require any mounting. It's a freestanding apparatus that you just set up in your home or your garage, kind of like a squat rack. If you're familiar with like a squat rack at the gym, how they often put pull-up bars on the squat rack. But these are usually designed in a different way. They have maybe like dip bars on them, and will have a pull-up bar at the top. They're not used for squats or anything. The power tower is the most popular that I know of. Obviously, the main advantage to this one is that there's no mounting necessary, right? You just set it up, it's freestanding. So if you're living in an apartment, or maybe you're renting and your landlord doesn't want you mounting anything to the walls or hurting the door frames with the doorway pull-up bar, then you can use a freestanding pull-up bar and it won't affect anything because it's not relying on walls or doors or anything like that. The one that I personally used was not sturdy enough. It wobbled quite a bit, so I would not learn muscle ups on it. If you're advanced and you can do very strict muscle ups, then I guess a freestanding pull-up bar could work for muscle ups, but I wouldn't recommend it for explosives or any kind of, if you're kipping with your muscle ups or using momentum, it wouldn't handle it. You could possibly tip over. But I encourage you, on any of these pull-up bars, if you're interested and you're researching it, go on Amazon and you can ask questions about the product. And you might be surprised. You might find a freestanding pull-up bar where someone has used it and said, oh yeah, I learned muscle ups on mine and it's pretty sturdy. And then the fifth type of pull-up bar that I personally do own is an anchored pull-up bar. And what I mean by that is that they are anchored into the ground, usually with cement. And you've probably seen me using my backyard pull-up bar in previous videos, and that is my anchored pull-up bar. If you want to get a detailed video of how I built this, or maybe I'll build another pull-up bar or some parallel bars and I'll document that in a video, let me know down below if you're interested in that. Obviously, the main advantage to these anchored pull-up bars is that they are set in the ground, so you can get as explosive as you want. You can swing on them. You can definitely learn muscle ups on them. And it's what is installed at fitness parks. So when you see the street workout guys at fitness parks doing this stuff, they're on anchored equipment every time. So there's really no concern of anything falling or tipping over or even wobbling. And of course, the downside to these anchored pull-up bars is that it's quite an investment to buy the lumber, the galvanized steel pipe, the tools you might need if you don't have a miter saw and things like that. And then the time you have to invest to install it. And let's not forget that a lot of people watching this probably don't have a yard to install any kind of anchored equipment, right? If you're renting, or maybe you are living in an apartment or a condo, then that's not an option for you. But if you do have a yard, so this is an option for you, and you're familiar enough with woodworking and using tools that you think you can do it, I highly recommend building your own anchored equipment. I built that pull-up bar a couple of years ago. I absolutely love it. And I have a whole kind of mini fitness park planned out in my head. I just need to do it. And that's why I'm willing to make a whole video and kind of document the process when I build the rest of my equipment. All right, so a different kind of video for you this time, but I hope that answered the question of why do I have all these different pull-up bars? Is it necessary? And what is the advantage and disadvantage to each? All right, so hopefully now you can make a better decision about which pull-up bar is best for your goals. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel. It's all about calisthenics-based fitness, how how to keep fit at home. And yeah, I will talk to you in the next one. See you later.